In a major escalation in the war on extremism, Canada declared the Proud Boys a terror group this month. The terror designation means members can face prosecution and assets can be frozen in Canada.
It's no longer about speech, it's about violence, and it's about extremism, and it's about terror.
Last year, the United Nations cited growing concerns about the increasing transnational threat of extreme right-wing terrorism, noting a threefold spike in attacks in mostly Western nations. But the U.S. is falling behind its Western allies in the fight. Of the 71 groups on the State Department's list of foreign terrorist organizations, none have far-right or white supremacist leanings.
I think it's a problem.
Jason Blazakis is the former director of the State Department's Counterterrorism Finance Office, which has no domestic list of terror groups. That's to prevent wrongfully targeting political protesters here. But Blazakis says our homegrown violent hate groups are increasingly becoming global in operation, opening up new avenues to stop them. And in 2019, he suggested the U.S. sanction them.
We recommended a number of organizations that the State Department could consider and Treasury Department could consider for possible sanctions. And to this day, not one of these groups is on the State Department FTO list.
The UK and Canada have together designated 9 far-right or white supremacist groups as terror organizations, allowing them to freeze assets of those groups. In America, far-right extremist groups account for more than 3 times as many killings inside the U.S. compared to Islamist radicals since 2011. And those U.S. extremists are increasingly looking to get help from abroad.
It's almost like there are training camps off U.S. shores, overseas.
Yeah, white supremacist camp. And they even have a battlefield, too. It goes beyond simply having a camp.
And Blazakis says U.S. neo-Nazis from the Atomwaffen division travel to the Ukraine to learn from European white supremacists.
They come back and they've developed skills on the battlefield or at training camps, right? And those skills could be projected against American citizens like me or you.
The far-right Russian imperial movement has operated paramilitary-style training camps for extremists from around the world. American officials say Swedish men who attended one of their trainings went on to bomb a cafe and conduct other attacks. And the Russian group also connected with Matthew Heimbach, one of the main organizers of that hate-filled Unite the Right event in Charlottesville. Here, Heimbach poses in front of the White House with a member of the Russian imperial movement who flew in. They're holding up a Russian imperial flag.
This group has innocent blood on its hands.
Last April, the State Department, under then Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, designated the group and 3 of its leaders terrorists, but stopped short of formally naming the Russian imperial movement a foreign terrorist organization, something that would allow U.S. prosecutors more leeway in charging Americans who work with them.
It's very easy to also sanction that group as a foreign terrorist organization. That would send a very important message.
The Biden administration has said it's looking closer, but has not acted yet.
We, of course, have a review underway, a domestic violent extremism, review that's underway by our national security team.
By and large, there are a lot of tools that they can leverage. That includes cooperation with counterparts and using the tools they already possess, plus shift some resources.
Mark Greenblatt, Newsy.